Pigs. Death hilarious. Geordie stoner
I
metal.
love seeing you count it. You got them all.
Otherwise, I would never would have got it otherwise.
Can I tell you how I do it?
Go on.
In my head, I divide it up. So I say
Oh,
pigs
you do
three. I do three,
three
then
then
two,
four.
then two. I go
Ah,
pigs.
nice.
That's
It's
my technique. That's my technique. If
interest.
anyone needs to know.
What's your technique? Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, how do you say it?
How do you think they came up with that name? It's got to be one of the most unique names in metal,
It's
right?
mental, isn't it?
How do you feel
It
about it?
I feel like you're sort of like you're either setting yourself up for success because it's so unique, or you're making it really fucking hard on yourself for like when you're first
Yeah.
starting out.
And why 7?
I don't know. Have you noticed this? Like pigs times 7 is their kind of like
Yeah, Pigs X7, like
yeah
A7X, Avenged Sevenfold.
yeah. Ugh,
It's I hope people don't call them that really, because
no,
that's not a good look.
take that back, John.
Say say it right and say it proud.
Yeah.
Yeah, Geordie Stoner Metalers are back with their fifth studio album, Death Hilarious. Any history of this band, Mike?
Do you know what? The only time I've ever heard them, and it's quite interesting that they often get played on Six Music, BBC Six Music, and there's often been times because we often have it on in our kitchen that I'll hear quite a heavy song on there, and I go, "Who's this?" And it'll always be Pigs Times 7.
Oh. So a fan? Do you like what you hear?
One of them would always hear a bit and think, "This is pretty cool." Never bothered checking them out properly, so I'd never listened to an album by them until today.
Until
Well,
today.
not till today,
Well,
until
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 this
this one.
one. Well, let
Giving away how
me.
organised I am for the show.
Yeah,
until
until 5 minutes
until
ago.
yeah, until 40 minutes ago ish.
Well, let me know what your take is on it, Mike. I'm keen to know because I mean, we previously were in a band together and we had a big kind of love for kind of stoner metal and doom, and not that this is a doom band, but that kind of more riff focused,
Mm.
heavy music. And we've never really discussed this band before, so I'm actually quite keen to know your take on it.
Well, I think the bits I'd heard of them before hadn't really conveyed to me their sound properly and what I'd heard because I'd only heard sort of snippets and stuff, and
Hmm.
I didn't realise that they, as a band, were this kind of you know stoner like English stoner metal kind of thing, and
Yeah.
I thought this album was fucking brilliant. Like I absolutely
Yeah.
loved it.
I
Loved
knew
it.
you. I knew you'd be a fan. I knew you would have liked this.
What this album had to me, which is such a great thing, I think when you're listening to new music, is it hit all the right points from a nostalgia point of view. Because this album took me right back to like
Hmm.
growing up, listening to kind of all the Rise Above record stuff, listening to Orange Goblin and all those kind of English bands. It took me right back to that, but they have got a slightly new take on it as well. The way it's
Yeah.
delivered is just a little bit different to those bands. So it's not a complete, just, tribute throwback to that. They're doing that sound, but with something a little bit extra added to it. And I thought it was really quite excellent, to be honest with you. Really, really good.
The Orange Goblin influence is definitely very strong. There's
Oh,
almost a kind
can
of
I just say, John, though, how cool
yeah.
is
Go
it to
on.
hear a band that's like so obviously influenced by Orange Goblin?
Yeah, I know, and British as
Great, man.
well. Like it's yeah, really good. There's almost a kind of like noise rock element
Yeah.
to his vocal delivery. It's got that kind of grittiness. That is that kind of half between sung shout quality to it, with a British twang, which sort of gives it that edge over like kind of most stoner metal, I think.
Well, there's a little bit of post punk in that vocal as well, isn't there? The
Yes,
kind
there
of
is.
Englishness as well. It has got that sort of, yeah, it sits in that the sort of trifecta of like a noise rock vocalist, stoner metal, post punk, and he's
Yeah,
like in the middle there and very English sounding. Um,
yeah.
it kind of makes you, for me anyway, realize how suited like a British accent is to stoner metal.
Yeah, it works so well, doesn't it? It's something about it just
Yeah. Um,
works
what do you think of
well.
this album and band, John? Had you heard much of them before?
Yeah, I'd been into them. I think I got into the last album quite heavily.
Oh, did you? You kept
Yeah,
that
when it
quiet.
came out. Well, it's what we do here. And it was so I was excited, man, to check this out, and yeah, like loved straight off the bat, loved it. There's nothing. I just don't think they can like release anything bad. It's just even their kind of like more kind of average songs are still really just like powerful and good. And one thing I think that they're really good at is just having like a single idea and like, or more or less just one idea and like just more or less stretching out the whole song to be
Mm.
around focus around that one kind of one idea, and it works. It makes each song feel cohesive within the album, but each song feels slightly different, and it like the it's just they've just nailed it, man. They really have.
How does this compare to the album before? Is it a progression or
Um, I Yeah, it's definitely the band's moved forward a little bit. It does sound a bit more modern. I think I need to spend more time with this to know if I prefer it. Because I really enjoyed the last one, but there is a kind of modern take on this going forward, which is it definitely is going to be one that I'll have to kind of revisit a lot more to know how it sounds in their discography. But
this band, John?
yeah,
Do you feel like they they do they sit in the metal scene? Like, are they covered by
it's it's a
the
weird one, isn't it? Because
yeah,
they get a lot of love from like more mainstream kind of
yeah,
publication. Like I think BBC do kind of love them for some reason. I think they've even done like some quite I don't want to say like award shows or something, but like some bigger. They've played like some weird stuff. I don't think they get the kind of love from alternative press. Maybe I don't know.
no, that's what I was thinking. Like, they seem to be the sort of band that gets played on like BBC Six Music, or there's an article about them in the Guardian or something like that, or
Yeah,
they're in
that
the
kind of thing.
NME or something like it's they seem to fit into that kind of world more than your standard metal.
Carangs. Well, it's weird though, isn't it?
Yeah, because
It's.
they're
I
metal as
wonder why they
fuck,
kind of latched on. Yeah, they are. I wonder why they latched on to this band. That kind of that more mainstream
man. It's just because they're really good.
media. Yeah, all that, all that.
They
Um,
are really good, aren't they?
They are really good. They are really good. I mean, not just like I spoke about this kind of songwriting where they kind of like take that idea and make a whole song out of it, but like the the pacing of the album, the production on the
Mm,
album is like amazing. They've got such cool the guitar tones are like crunchy and fuzzed, really thick, but really like the clarity on it is like top quality.
yeah,
Same with the bass. But yeah, like I think the pacing of this record is where it kind of really shines.
yeah, man. And I think the vocally as well, he sets this like scene of kind of there's a lot of darkness in there. There's this lot of it's got a very much an English approach to his lyrics as
Yeah,
well. And it's it's just got there. I mean that's part of the post punk thing. I think to me there's this like lyrically it feels not always quite stoner. They're obviously there's obviously quite a lot about kind of decadence and things like that, but it always seems like it's approaching it from maybe a darker side.
yeah, yeah. That's kind of where I got the more um
Noise rock.
noise rock. Yeah, thank you. Kind of element to it. One of the one I think it was track two, Detroit, especially had
Yeah,
that
that one.
feeling. It had there was almost like a call and response with the kind of instrumentation, and then the vocals would do their he'd
Yeah,
deliver a line, and it would just that was pretty much the structure of the whole song. But it kept you engaged because his one liners were just really like captivating, and you were kind of just waiting to hear where he was going with the kind of progression of the storytelling. I mean, it's just my main takeaway from this is like simplicity. Like, not everything has to be overly technical, does it? Like, sometimes simplicity is key, and I think they've nailed that with this.
Well, I also think when you do that, and then you add in like the odd little moment that shows sort of a bit of technical prowess, like a change
Mm,
or something like that, those bits then really stand out, you know?
yeah, yeah,
Um,
because they're quite subtle, aren't they? When they do introduce these kind
yeah.
of changes, I think in track 6, the worm is where they allow these kind of subtle shifts to go around. It's one of the longer songs on the record, but it's
My
kind of built
favorite as well.
around. Was it?
Yeah.
It was sort of like built around a kind of looping bar, wasn't it, at the start, that just continually builds up into this kind of riff, and then it all kicks into this kind of, like, I put it into this super orange goblin moment.
Yeah, man. It's a big
Um,
black sort of era, wasn't it?
yeah, and that's probably my favorite orange goblin era as
Same.
well. So this was, yeah, it was really, really great. And then he had this kind of like effect on the vocal, which gave it more like a kind of psych rock feeling.
Yeah.
Um, just so cool, man. Really well done.
I tell you what, as well, right? I mean, like in England at the moment, the sun's kind of come out, hasn't it? All of a sudden, it's got a bit hotter, and this
Mate.
album
Yeah.
is such a good soundtrack to it.
I was thinking the exact same thing. There was one track, well, there's a few actually. Track 4, Stitches.
Yeah.
It had a more kind of almost rockabilly sense to it. It had a kind of I don't want to say it was like Danzig, but like that kind of that rhythm of the kind of guitar with the drums, and it just made me want to turn the volume up and enjoy the sunshine. And then there was another song that really reminded me of Collider, the track before. It really reminded me of Torch, because they had this kind of low, like this drawn out vocal over this really slow riff with like and then they would introduce this lead line that was like quite uplifting,
Mm.
almost Weezer esque, but within the confines of like a stoner metal album. And it just like with the sun shining, it was just like encapsulated such a nice feeling.
Yeah, man. What did you think of Glib
Track
Glib
5,
Tongues? Yeah, because you had LP
yeah,
from is it Run the Jewels? He was
yeah,
he added like a
he had a
verse to it,
verse,
didn't he?
didn't
Did like
he?
a rap, yeah.
I
Did you like
loved
that?
it,
Did you think it
man.
worked? Yeah,
I thought it
same.
worked really well. I thought he sounded a little bit like Ice T on it. It
Yeah.
was kind of giving it was giving that kind of energy, but I think it
It's
worked really well. There was like a darkness to that song, wasn't there? That
there really was, man. And I think like in those instances, like it's quite a brave route to go down is to try because it could easily not
introducing a
work if you
rapper,
yeah, if you didn't have the right either the right person or the just if it didn't it could easily not quite work. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
But I think it was executed so brilliantly.
me too. I'd actually like to hear maybe more of it. I think it worked
Mm,
really well. Maybe like a split or something, like an EP, where they kind of,
yeah,
like, if they really worked on it together. I think that could work really well.
yeah, man.
A new wave of rap stoner metal, could really work. I
Well,
think. Did you ever?
they
You
all
said
love
your
the old thing, don't they? They love the old.
the,
Right?
oh, the
Yeah,
Scooby Doo's.
yeah,
So you said the worm was your favorite. I think mine was probably the track after Carousel.
yeah,
There
man.
was like
Great bass line at the beginning.
great bass line, great riffs throughout, but what was really cool was like the drums. Normally, the drums have been quite straight through this
Yeah.
album, but on this one, they sort of followed the syncopation of the riffs, and it just gave a really cool sense rather than keeping it straight. And then they sort of like switched it up into the final quarter into this build up that just went into the main riff again from the
Oh, it was
start, and it was
huge, wasn't
just
it?
huge. And then they kind of slowed it down even further at the end. It was like such a cool stoner metal song. It was
It was quite
just, man,
doomy
this
that
album was,
one as well.
yeah, especially at the end when they all brought it
Yeah.
back together.
Same with
I just,
Toker. The
yeah,
Toker had a bit of a more of a doomy vibe as well. It was a bit slower.
I thought that that sounded like a proper Matt Pike riff, like
Yeah,
Sleep era, obviously, rather than High on Fire. But it was
yeah,
like it also reminded me of the last song on Big Black. It was real like jazzy. Sorry, not jazzy, bluesy, laid back. Like even the drum beat was so laid back on this. It was
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
real, just soft hi hats moments. Um, and just sort of builds and builds and builds, doesn't it? And then yeah, great ender. I think that was.
No, mate, it's a great album, man. I got so much nostalgia from it. It was so cool hearing like a new album come out that just transported me back to my teenage years.
Yeah, really good. Really, I mean, I recommend. I couldn't recommend this highly. I think this is one to definitely check out. Also, we kind of said we were going to do this, but we never did. What do you think of the artwork?
Yeah, cool, man. Really good.
Really cool artwork. Like the I feel like the more you look at it, each section could be its own like cover.
Yeah.
There's like so much going on. It was like quite trippy and quite psych, but it's really cool album art, man.
I was looking
This
at
would be one.
their old artwork, and it's all fairly different, isn't it? It's all
Yeah,
kind of cool in its own way, but
there's no
theme.
like cohesion, is there? It's
No,
they've all got their own take, which I don't mind that, to be perfectly
no,
honest. Um But yeah, all right, man. Listen, if you like what you heard today, give us a like and a subscribe. We put out new videos every Wednesday and Friday reviewing the latest metal. Let us know in the comments if you check this band out or like what you think of this record, because you know we think it's worth your time.
lots of love
But
from
yeah,
us.
yeah, lots of love from us. Anyway, we'll catch you in the next one.